Well, that's one of the ways some people try to get ahead of tomorrow. The professor will tell you exactly what's in store for you. Good or bad. It's all predetermined.
Hurry, hurry, hurry! Get your palm read, folks, and you'll know the future for sure. Let the little lady hold your hand and read your palm. She knows.
See that line? If you've got that line in the palm of your hand, you're going to have money. No matter how hard you try to avoid it.
The stars tell everything. What's coming to you, what's ahead of tomorrow, it has all been decided years and years ago. Yes, sir, the stars have it all arranged. And
well, this kind of getting ahead of tomorrow may be good enough for some people, but certainly not for us. All of us who are concerned with the future of farming. We try to determine the future for ourselves. We plan our future. We decide our future. Not by the stars, not by fortune telling. We do it by honest hard work and by the exercise of good judgment and plenty of know-how. And to do our work, we need tools, better and better tools. Tools to do more work in less time for less money. More powerful, more economical tools. This need, this desire for progress is the spark, the inspiration that stimulates our nation's industries. For example, the Oliver Corporation's tractor plant at Charles City, Iowa. More than 50 years ago, the first successful tractors powered by internal combustion engines were designed and built here at Charles City. A new kind of mechanical power had come to the aid of farmers. 50 years ago, forward-looking men were getting ahead of their tomorrow. And because of their efforts, much of the hard labor was taken out of farming, and farm production was stepped up. Today, Oliver's tractor plant at Charles City is one of the most modern and best-equipped factories in the world. From this modern plant, year in, year out, has come a constantly improved line of farm tractors, continually demonstrating Oliver's determination always to get ahead of tomorrow. And to continue that policy of service to agriculture, Oliver's management decided to embark on a new, and for the tractor industry, revolutionary research enterprise. Considering ways of increasing engine efficiency and, of course, fuel economy, two factors became predominant: higher compression ratio and higher octane gasoline. But no one could know what such a combination would produce in terms of usable economical power for a farm tractor. Oliver now decided to enlist the aid of the Ethel Corporation's Detroit laboratories. Ethel, they knew, could furnish certain engine research facilities, as well as the know-how of chemists and engineers who specialize in fuel research. This is a meeting of Oliver executives with executives of the Ethel Corporation and research engineers from both firms. They're discussing this research project, which in years to come, they hope, will bring great benefits to farming. They are talking of a new and revolutionary tractor engine, and these are their objectives: more efficient power, more flexible power, greater economy, long life. And they decide to build an experimental tractor engine that will be far ahead of its time, that will be, indeed, a giant stride into the future. The goal determined, they go to work. On the basis of many calculations, they decide that the experimental engine should be designed so it can be installed in a conventional tractor chassis. This will enable the engineers to obtain direct performance comparisons, building on past experiences, applying new and revolutionary ideas, figuring and refiguring, blueprint after blueprint, until here they are, the plans and specifications for this research engine. They gave it a name, XO-121. XO means Experimental Oliver. And Experimental Oliver means a number of things. It means an engine in the 3 to 4 plow class, 199 cubic inch displacement with overhead valves, 4 cylinders, bore and stroke 3 3/4 by 4.5 inches, governed at 1600 RPM. But most important of all, the new engine will have a compression ratio of 12 to 1. That's what is expressed by the numerals 121. Compression ratio of 12 to 1. You realize, of course, the significance of these simple figures. The higher the ratio to which the fuel-air mixture is compressed within the cylinder, the higher the power output of that cylinder, provided the fuel does not knock. Think of a coil spring which is compressed. When a weight is placed on the compressed spring and the spring is released, the weight is pushed up a certain distance. When the same spring is pushed down further, compressed to a higher ratio, the same weight will be pushed up much higher. So we see work done by the spring was increased because of the spring's higher compression. In a tractor engine of today, the fuel-air mixture is compressed to a ratio of approximately 6.5 to 1. However, in the new experimental tractor engine, the compression ratio will be 12 to 1, with a correspondingly greater output of power. So the blueprints were taken to the machine shops. To achieve a balanced engine design with a compression ratio of 12 to 1, the structure and design of many engine parts had to be strengthened and modified. The cylinder block, the crankshaft, the pistons, the combustion chamber, the valves, the ignition system, and the many other components of the engine. Revolutionary thinking being transformed into revolutionary power. The assembled research engine, the new XO-121. But the fuel to run this experimental engine, what about this problem? The Ethel laboratories can blend experimental fuels, fuels that are ahead of tomorrow, fuels made to fit the requirements of specific research, such as the research on the new XO-121. So now, with fuel available, the engine was installed on a test stand and coupled to a dynamometer. The dynamometer is used to absorb and to measure the engine's power under a wide range of speed and load conditions. Connected to the engine on the dynamometer stand is a control panel. The instruments on the control panel give valuable test data. For instance, this device will measure the fuel consumption. This scale gives information needed to compute the power output, and these dials indicate the engine speed in revolutions per minute. This then is the equipment that will test the XO-121 to see how well it meets the demands set up so many months ago. First, the throttle is opened to the full power position. Then the engine speed is adjusted. Now the fuel-air mixture is adjusted. This affects power output and operational economy. An electronic timing light determines precisely when the spark plugs fire. Ignition timing is important since it influences combustion. On the control panel, the flow of fuel to the engine is observed. You know only too well the importance of fuel consumption, fuel economy. The reading on this scale is noted for later evaluation. How about the results? The XO-121 did come up to expectation. It is truly ahead of tomorrow. And here is the proof. Because the Oliver tractors, Oliver 70 and Oliver 77, are among the outstanding examples of good tractor design, past and present, they can be used as yardsticks to compare the performance of the XO-121. Displacement: 201 for the Oliver 70, 194 for the 77, 199 for the XO-121. Compression ratio: 6.25 to 1 for the 70, 6.75 to 1 for the 77, 12 to 1 for the XO-121. Rated RPM: 1500, 1600, and 1600. 100% maximum brake horsepower corrected: 31.6 for the 70, 41.22 for the 77, but 60.9 for the XO-121, nearly double the output of the Oliver 70. Operating maximum brake horsepower: 28.4, 36.4, and 54.0 for the XO-121. Again, nearly double the output of the 70. Horsepower hours per gallon, operating maximum: 11.85, 12.40 for the 77. The XO-121, 16.07. This figure represents a specific fuel consumption of 0.385 pounds per brake horsepower hour and proves that in the laboratory, the experimental XO-121 is the most efficient tractor engine ever built. But how well will this engine perform when it is installed in a tractor? To find out, let us go back to the tractor plant at Charles City, Iowa. These engineers at Oliver are about to take the next step in the evaluation of the XO-121 engine. They are ready to study the performance of this research tool at work in a conventional tractor. Tractor with the experimental engine, which is ahead of tomorrow. The XO-121. Now that the engine has become part of a conventional Oliver tractor, it is necessary once more to test its performance. But this time, the horsepower and fuel economy will be measured on the belt. At the other end, the belt is connected to a dynamometer test stand. The dynamometer, as we've already seen, is used to absorb power. The engine is run at the rated speed. The load for the first test is set at the control panel, and the first power output readings are obtained. Instrument readings at various points of the tractor are noted. Fuel consumption is observed. Tests like these are continued over and over again and under all sorts of load conditions. Then, the final readings, the assurance that the XO-121 really is ahead of tomorrow. Again, we'll compare the performance of the experimental XO-121 with that of the same two tractors, Oliver 70 and Oliver 77. The figures for displacement, compression ratio, and rated RPM, of course, have not changed. But as they are the basis of evaluation, they're once more included in this chart. Now, 100% maximum belt horsepower corrected. 29.56 for the 70. 38.82 for the 77. 56.90 for the XO-121. Operating maximum belt horsepower, 26.57. 34.34, but 51.10 for the XO-121. And finally, horsepower hours per gallon, operating maximum, 11.07, 11.73, and 15.50 for the XO-121. Again, we can say that this is performance no other tractor engine has ever matched. The next step now will be to determine the engine performance in terms of rear wheel power. This impressive-looking vehicle, a traction dynamometer, will supply the answer. It will absorb and measure engine power as transmitted through the rear wheels of the moving tractor. The drawbar is hooked up. Cables which will transmit tractor speed and engine RPM are connected to the instrument panel. The test engineers take their places. The instruments are set. As the tractor pulls the test rig, it is possible to vary the load and to measure the power output needed to pull it. The load can be set to correspond to the tractor pulling a heavy multiple plow, or to pulling a disc harrow, or a cultivator, or a combine. Whatever power is needed, the engine supplies it by transmission through these wheels. These drawbar tests are the last ones to be run, and it'll be no surprise to learn from this chart that the results again have been outstanding. The figures for displacement, compression ratio, and RPM are repeated once more. Now let us look at the comparison figures for 100% maximum drawbar horsepower corrected. 26.25 for the Oliver 70. 34.20 for the Oliver 77, and 48.50 for the XO-121. Operating maximum drawbar horsepower, 23.60, 30.19, and for the XO-121, 43.60. Horsepower hours per gallon, operating maximum, 9.82 for the 70. 10.33 for the 77, and 13.24 for the XO-121. The drawbar tests conclude our evaluations and comparisons. Thanks to the vision of these men, the XO-121 has proved that the future use of higher compression in farm tractors is practical, and that the gains in performance and economy are outstanding. Since the XO-121, as the name implies, is an experimental model, it will never be seen on the assembly lines. It will never be put into mass production. But you will see other tractors, new tractors, whose improved performance is possible largely because of the lessons learned from this tractor. You see, the XO-121 was built as a research tool to be the yardstick for new standards of design, for new standards of performance. It was built to serve as a beacon to guide engine designers and fuel technologists to help them, to help you, to get ahead of tomorrow.
So you see, it isn't that we don't want to put the XO-121 on the production line. We'd like nothing better than to deliver, right now, the tractor that's ahead of tomorrow. And we do it, if only the fuel were available now, in quantity, and at a price comparable to present-day gasoline.
Yes, like the XO-121 itself, the fuel it uses is ahead of tomorrow. That too is in the future. Development of a new fuel from the experimental laboratory to actual production in the refinery is a long, long step. It will take time and money, lots of it, to mass produce economically a fuel of such tremendous potency. So turning their thoughts from tomorrow, Oliver engineers faced the realities of today, became especially conscious of their obligation to agriculture, of the task of producing super tractors today. Yes, super tractors today. It could be done, Oliver engineers decided, by keeping the experimental goals they had just achieved constantly in sight. From the XO-121, many important conclusions could be drawn. To Oliver's realistic executive staff, the course was clear: to make today's tractor as advanced as possible. Never content to sit back and rest on their laurels, they rolled up their sleeves and went to work. Beginning with the very heart of the tractor, the engine, Oliver engineers launched an extremely basic program. The aim? The most power from today's fuel, smoother power, longer lasting engines today. That meant still further development of the current Oliver engine, already far more modern and efficient than the majority of tractor engines presently built. But pursuing its policy of forging ahead, Oliver continues to match engine design to fuel improvement. Keeping in step with scientific advancements is an old habit with Oliver, dating way back to 1937, when the first row crop tractor with a 6-cylinder high-compression engine was introduced. Again, in 1947, compression ratio was raised in a newly designed fleet of tractors. Now, once more, the compression ratio has been increased, this time to a new high for a gasoline tractor engine, 7-to-1, to better utilize the higher octane gasoline you get today, to give you a better performing tractor, to lower your power costs. Next came a bigger cylinder bore and greater piston displacement. Large bore, short stroke, more revolutions per minute. That's the trend in modern engine design, the best way to obtain greater horsepower, more work from every ounce of fuel. At the same time, it's a design that prolongs engine life. You see, it's not so much the speed of the engine, but the stroke, the distance the piston travels, that determines the rate of wear. And so it went, part by part, from crankshaft to clutch, from bearings to axles, improvement after improvement, and all the way through, typical Oliver sturdiness, unsurpassed quality of materials, experienced craftsmanship, and careful inspection. And here, off the assembly line, rolls a marvelous new Oliver tractor, the new Super 88. The new Oliver Super 88. What a performer it is. There's power here, more power than in any other row crop tractor. Increased power now puts it in a class all by itself. It's a full 4-plow tractor. But Oliver didn't stop with the Super 88. There's an entire new fleet of Oliver Supers, a tractor in a size and type to meet your exact power requirements, your acreage, your cropping practices. First, a completely new tractor type in the 2-3 plow class, the brilliant and rugged Super 55. It sets a new pace in performance and economy. It is a tractor unequaled in versatility and handling ease, built to the dimensions of popular demand. Next, the new Super 66. Now, a 2-3 plow tractor that will handle all the work on the average farm with speed and economy. And here's the successor to a long-time favorite everywhere, the new Super 77, a real husky, stepped up in power. It's a 3-4 plow tractor now, unmatched in its class. So if you want a tractor with more power, greater economy, and longer life, at low cost, visit your nearby Oliver dealer and get the facts on the new Oliver Super line.
This year I'll be farming around 400 acres. Guess I need a lot more power. A big tractor that can handle a 4-bottom plow without any trouble.
Well, then the tractor for you is this new Super 88. It's in the big tractor class now, you know. A real powerhouse. It'll pull 4 bottoms all right, no matter how tough your ground is. Sail right along with them, too. But maybe you can use still more power. A 4-5 plow tractor. While you're here, take a look at this new Super 99. Quite a few farmers around here are buying Super 99s. Say they wouldn't farm without them. It's got all the features of the other Olivers and a lot of special features of its own. Let me show you something you won't find on any other make. A platform as flat and clean and big as this. Look at all the room you have to get around. I'll bring one out to your place and you can give it our free work test. You'll be surprised at what it will do and how easily it handles.
Okay, I'll see you then.
Fine.
So take your pick, from the nimble Super 55 to the mighty Super 99. Best of all, these Oliver tractors have many fine features in common. Features that farmers want and have been asking for. Features that you may someday get in other tractors, but that you do get today in the Oliver you buy. First of all, of course, there's a choice of engines. The ultra-modern gasoline engine with its increased compression ratio, and a diesel engine. Simple, economical, dependable, easy starting. A diesel engine, not for just 1 or 2 power sizes, but for all 5 Oliver Super tractors. Every model has 6 forward speeds, 1 road speed, and 5 practical working speeds. 6 speeds give you any efficient combination of ground travel and drawbar pull you need. You can fit the tractor to the load. Use only the fuel needed to do the work. All 5 tractors have double disc brakes. These new disc brakes last 6 to 8 times longer than ordinary brakes, and most important, they make stopping and steering faster and safer, easier and smoother. In each of these 5 models, we've considered your comfort too. On all of them, the controls are within easy reach. This rubber spring seat is the most restful seat ever placed on a farm tractor. No back-breaking jolts, no pitching rebounds. You can do more work with less fatigue. Those are just a few of the principal features. There are many others. For instance, all 5 models are equipped with an independently controlled power takeoff. This power takeoff is controlled by a hand clutch, which is completely independent of the tractor clutch. It can be engaged and disengaged at will, either while the tractor is standing still or while it is on the move. Just watch the hand clutch on the tractor and the gathering chains on the harvester. Another special unit is a new hydraulic control system. With these handy levers, you can even change working depth without leaving the tractor seat. For the full story on the most versatile, the most practical, the most modern fleet of farm tractors ever built, visit the friendly Oliver dealer in your neighborhood. And while you're there, ask to try the tractor of your choice. Better yet, arrange for a free work test on your farm under your conditions. Then we're sure you'll fully realize just how far ahead in design and performance is the new Oliver Super Tractor of today.